What if I told you the only thing standing between the life you dream of and the life you're living right now is not luck, not talent, not even motivation. It's something far simpler, something called consistency. And this is the story of how one man discovered its true power. Arman was like most of us, dreaming big but living small. Every morning, his alarm would ring at 6:30 a.m. And every morning he'd hit snooze. He'd scroll through social media, watching people his age buying cars, starting businesses, traveling the world while he sat there, half awake, wondering, when will my life change? He had goals, huge ones. He wanted to get fit, start his own clothing brand, help his parents retire early. But he had one problem: he never stuck to anything. He'd start a workout, quit after a week. Start reading a book, leave it halfway. Plan a business, lose interest in a month. Arman thought motivation was the key. He waited for those inspired moments when he felt unstoppable. But the truth, that motivation came and went like a gust of wind, there one day, gone the next. And slowly he started losing faith in himself. He'd say, "Maybe I'm just not meant for success." Then one evening, while scrolling Instagram, he saw a post of his old friend Zion standing in front of a sports car, smiling. Zayn used to be just like him, lazy, broke, full of excuses. But now he was running a successful business and traveling the world. Arman couldn't hold back. He called him that night. "Bro," he asked, "how did you do it? What changed?" Zayn laughed softly and said, "I stopped chasing motivation. I started chasing consistency." Arman frowned. "That's it, consistency." Zayn replied, "To motivation fades. Consistency builds empires." That line hit Arman harder than anything he'd ever heard. That night, lying in bed, he whispered to himself, What if I just showed up, every day, for 30 days? He didn't know it then. But that one small promise would change his entire life. Everyone wants to be consistent until life starts testing them. That's when most people quit. But Arman, he decided not to. The next morning, Arman woke up before sunrise. For the first time in months, he didn't hit snooze. He laced up his old sneakers, stepped outside, and started running. The air was cold. His body felt heavy. His legs screamed, "Stop!" But his mind whispered, "Just one more minute." When he returned home, exhausted and sweating, he smiled. It wasn't because he ran far. It was because, for once, he kept his promise to himself. That first run lasted only 10 minutes. But that 10 minutes meant everything. The next day, he ran again. Then again. Some days were great, most were hard. He started reading too. Just 5 pages of a self-growth book each night. And he began spending 10 minutes a day planning his clothing brand. No huge leaps. Just small steps. But soon, the excitement faded. The initial fire that made him start, gone. There were days he'd stare at his running shoes and think, "Does this even matter?" Days when his body hurt, when it rained, when work got busy. Every excuse tried to pull him back into his old life. One morning, after working late, he almost skipped his run. He told himself, "It's just one day, it won't make a difference." But as he lay there, he remembered something his friend Zion had told him too. Consistency isn't about being perfect. It's about showing up, especially when you don't want to. So, he got up, he ran. Even if it was slow, even if no one was watching. And in that moment, Arman realized something powerful: consistency isn't built on motivation. It's built on discipline. Each small choice was changing him from the inside. Every day he showed up, he proved to himself that he could be trusted. And that's when the real magic began. Because once you start trusting yourself, you stop quitting on your dreams. A opening hook: 5 seconds. 6 months later, Arman looked in the mirror. And for the first time in his life, he saw someone he respected. His body had changed, yes. Stronger, leaner, more confident. But that wasn't the biggest difference. The real change was in his eyes. There was focus, belief, and quiet strength that had never been there before. Arman had finally built momentum. He no longer needed motivation to move. His habits moved for him. He'd wake up early, lace up his shoes, and run without thinking twice. He'd read his pages, plan his brand, and work on his goals, not because someone told him to, but because it had become who he was. His small clothing business, the same idea that had once lived only in his notebook, was now starting to get orders online. People were wearing his designs, and he was earning his first real income from something he built himself. But the success wasn't the highlight. It was what it taught him. The results may take time, but the transformation starts the day you stop quitting. He remembered those early mornings when no one believed in him. No likes, no applause, no encouragement, just him, his sweat, and his willpower. That's when he realized. Consistency doesn't just change your life. It changes your identity. Every small action he took built trust with himself. Every time he showed up, he was silently telling the world, "I'm not here to be average." And that belief started reflecting everywhere. In the way he talked, walked, worked, and dreamed. People who once doubted him now asked, "Bro, what's your secret?" He'd smile and say, "There's no secret. I just showed up. Every single day." Because that's what consistency does. It turns ordinary people into unstoppable forces. Tattoo Arman's story isn't just his. It's yours too. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to have everything figured out. You just need to start and keep showing up. Because in the end, motivation fades. Discipline lasts. And consistency always wins.